Hello, Stream.
Oh shit.
We are a couple players short this evening, so I will be voicing the character of Marthala while TechSoup tracks her stats. Wordman is going to be rolling at a disadvantage if he ever chooses to join us, and if not, I will yell at him later because he's the worst for not showing up on time for the stream. However, what should I do with his character?
Kill him.
I guess I could pop him out.
Whoa.
Okay, I was just checking to see if I could hear
I mean,
Discord on the stream. Don't kill him.
No, I'm not gonna
but
kill him.
also his rate.
I can run him, or Tech can run him if you want.
I do have that mechanic where I can BF people out, though. I could do that, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know if BAMF is the appropriate sound effect here, but sure.
I think we can run him.
Okay, I will also voice the character of Brandel.
Oh.
While
Is sheet? Maybe we can't.
you can't see a sheet.
No.
Nah, it's private.
Well, then he's fired. Where's his sheet? Brandel. I can see his sheet.
Okay.
Ugh.
I think I mostly remember what he
crap
has.
I have to run, you sons of bitches.
Just assume it's Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, basically. And he already used his invisible step, I think.
Not after the long rest.
Not after the long rest. You're right.
Okay, we are going to do a session recap. Ready, set, go.
Yeah.
Well, you all made it out alive thanks to Geth's magnificent healing. But you're all filthy. Even if you didn't dive headfirst into the poop pool, you are all breathing in the mist from sewage pouring into the room. But Tentacle reaching through from the plane of filth was defeated. Hooray! Then, of course, you found a dragon. Yay, dragons? You learned that you have found an active portal to another plane, which you have left behind in a room before, and you guys took a long rest before finding this dragon. The RP point went to Druge for heroically using his trunk to keep Marthala from falling through the portal. Some honorable mentions were Quentin for diving headfirst into the muck to save Marthala, Brandon for diving in to save Marthala, realizing how deep it is, and then climbing back out, and Marthala for saving her goddamn self. Geth, you have a carryover RP point because you didn't get to use yours. So Geth and Drews both have an RP point for this particular session. Questions, concerns, happy thoughts?
Did you explain RP points to...
No, but I'm sure he'll figure it out. So, we are in a deep, scary cavern. Let's see here. I will read this stuff again. A small brass-colored dragon thrashes madly at the far end of the cavern, trapped beneath two large boulders that block a northern tunnel. Two dark creatures resembling flying squids dart just out of the little dragon's reach, harassing it. Another northern tunnel is also blocked with rubble. Only a tunnel to the east stands clear of debris. That is... Oh gosh, my throat is weird. That is everything you guys see. And then, as you're looking at this, a gentleman ducks out from behind a rock. And, Random, would you like to describe yourself? Because, Stream, we're being joined by a new human. Stream. Yay, new human. Okay, so, Random, go ahead and describe your character. Hi, kitten.
Alright, so a human of relatively average height and weight. We'll call it traveling gear, something a little heavier maybe, but kind of a longer coat, and probably some sort of battered hat, but that used to be fairly fine, maybe like a top hat or something like that. Not quite, but you get the idea. Seems to be, let's see, a good explanation would be something of a fop. Does that everybody understand that term?
Hello.
A dandy?
Yes.
Kind of. Like a nobleman that's been, tromping through caves for days. Something like that. But rushes out pretty headlong. Doesn't seem to be concerned at all. I assume I will have mage armored by this point.
Sure.
Am I doing something, or am I just running out?
Give me 1 second. I'm hearing an echo and it's making me crazy. So I'm going to dim the screen for a second and try and find it. 1 minute.
If
I have discovered the culprit.
Random said anything, I didn't hear anything that he said.
Oh, you haven't heard
You're-
anything he said?
Oh,
Can you hear the rest of us?
Yeah.
Huh.
You can't hear Random at all, though?
Oh, I heard him earlier, but not
blah blah
now.
blah.
You didn't hear that? That's
No.
really strange. Why would you
That's
not
pretty
be hearing
strange.
one person. Did you accidentally mute him on your end?
Negative.
Let me
It
try.
would show that. I can leave and come back.
I pulled them out and back in.
Random.
Still not.
Random, go ahead and say something.
Yeah. Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah
Yay.
blah.
So he described himself as sort of a fop, average height human, sort of dressed sort of fancily, which I'm highly amused about.
I really want you to go back and listen to the description on the stream later, Stash, because he just gives this big description and Spoon condenses it
Hi-
to a fop.
I'm sorry, it was my favorite.
It was great.
word
No, I
there,
love it.
And I think it,
Accurate.
I would add Dusty. The
Dusty?
Dusty Fop.
Dusty,
Dusty
fop.
fop.
Yes.
Dusty
cowboy name.
Pop. Okay.
Uh-huh.
You're
There you go.
you're fired. You.
Okay.
You're rolling at a
Alright.
disadvantage this whole stream. You.
Okay. Yeah, sure. All right. All right.
Ah, I'm so
So
mad
does
at
that
you
mean if
right
he
now.
gets advantage, it's normal?
Yes. I mean,
Uh,
I assume. I'm not the DM, so.
On the other hand, you can't get double disadvantage. Last I checked.
well,
Oh,
Correct.
that
we'll
is true.
see about that.
Oh boy, I'm running. Ooh.
Anyway, so y'all see this fancily, dustily dressed wizard pop out from behind a rock, and then what do you do?
If
Do
I
we,
remember
all
correct-
see him?
Yeah, I think so, because he's in like full view. Because you
I
guys.
doubt
are
it's subtle.
And yeah.
Wonderful. Did Brandon, or sorry, did Brandel and I make an attack on those squids
Yes,
I-
you did.
at the end of that last session?
Oh, I
So that
don't
probably
see.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
You did. I've got the.
Oh yes, I
damage
do.
numbers
I do
right
have the
now.
damage numbers right now too. So should we go ahead and roll initiative?
I guess.
Sounds good.
All right. Let me draw.
Might
some
we say that
lines.
our attacks on the squid are when he jumped out, maybe?
I mean, I thought we were hitting the demon things that were
Wait,
flying
yeah.
around.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
meant by the squid.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think that sounds reasonable. Let's say you guys hit, and then he jumps out from behind the rock and starts hitting as well.
Sounds good.
All right. Let me write all of that down and also draw pretty lines, and then you can all say numbers out loud, and I'll write them down. But give me 1 second. I should just add this to the template. But then how would I move it around? Well, my life is hard. So I need to copy this information over from this page. Oh, you son of a. Okay. Copy and then put it over here. And then move this. And then move this here. And then write fight above
I-
it because fight. Okay, so what I have written down is that Brandel shot at the one on the right with Eldritch Blast, of course. And Quentin shot at the one on the left with a bow. You both hit and did the damage. I'm realizing Oh, I do have it written down. Did I have it written down over here? That would have been smart. Did I? I didn't. That's great. Okay. Great. Love it. Cool. Okay. I am ready for initiatives. Hang on. I'm not ready. Guess what's your initiative?
16.
Luth, what is your initiative?
13.
What's your character's name? Random?
Quentin?
Quentin?
Oh.
Oh, Sarlo.
Sarlo.
I wrote Dusty Fop because we haven't been introduced
What's your initiative, Sarlo?
12.
Brandon, what's your initiative?
7.
Perfect. Druge, yours?
22.
Of course it is.
And Brandel, what's yours?
Do I roll disadvantage?
No.
Oh, okay, that's 19 then. Oh wait, no, it's 20. 20.
Oh,
'Cause I got
and
+1.
can someone roll for Marthala?
Got it. 16.
I think
I don't have her modifier.
I think she has a +1.
She's a +2.
+2, so 18.
Oh, +2. That's
Okay,
fancy.
pause please while I put you all into my little
No problem.
counter thing. I should probably post a picture of that to the internet and give Luth credit for coming up with it.
Oh, that's fine.
Let's see, Druge is going first, and then Brandel, you said 20 total, right? And then Marthala, and then Geth. It's funny, a healer going in the middle of the pack. And then Quentin. And, oh, son of a bitch. I have to roll for the other guys first.
Sure do.
Yep. Hold,
Yes.
please.
That's right.
Will. Okay.
Can never tell if that's good or bad.
Dark Mantle 1 has a dumb
Wheel
number.
hail.
Dark Mantle 2 has a dumb number. And the dragon's just going to be useless because that's how dragons are when they're pinned down by rocks.
Right.
Oh, Geth and Marthala both rolled a 16, or did she roll an 18 with her modifier?
She rolled an 18, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Druge, Marthala, Geth. Nope. Druge, Brandel, Marthala. Ugh, guys, I'm sorry. Something very crazy happened at work last week, and I'm not prepared for anything since then. My apologies. Okay, Marthala, Geth, Quentin, Sarlo, Relic. Okay. So we're gonna say at the end of last session, you guys decided to attack the Dark Mantles. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, Relic was kind of hanging back with Gorko
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
to be like,
This ain't my battle. It's a freaking dragon.
right. Yes, that. He was saying that. I forgot to put Gorko on the map, so I'm adding him now. There he goes. Save. Switch back to scenario mode. Done. Okay. And so, yeah, so Quentin and Brandel ducked out to shoot things. So I'm going to move you guys about here, if that's okay.
And we did 5 and 9 damage.
That is true.
Hey.
And then Sarlo is going to get his. He can get one shot off, and then we'll drop into initiative. What are you going to do?
What am I going to do?
Uh-huh.
Are we assuming that I have Mage Armor yet?
Yeah.
Because
let's
if not, then that's what I'm going to do.
assume. Okay. How about we say
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's say you did
And
that
that'll be-
before jumping out from behind the rock.
Oh, in that case, I will Toll the Dead.
Toll the dead.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me what that does. Tell the internet what that does, because I
So
actually looked it up earlier.
I'm going to go after one of the ones that got hit.
They both got hit.
Okay,
So left or right?
doesn't matter then. Left. Always go left.
Left. Got it. Okay. So you are
Target must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw.
wisdom saving throw. Please don't roll dumb. Oh, you son of a bitch. This die is fired. 7.
Okay. Let me roll the damage as soon as I find a d12, which apparently not on the top of my bag. Oh, damn. Alright. Oh, gosh. There it is. That is 5 damage.
5 damage to the one on the left. Okay. The one on the left is going to be this one.
That's
Alright.
necrotic.
Necrotic? Good to know.
Mhm.
Alright, it is still standing, but it is looking at you now and is unhappy. Druge, you're up.
I'll make face.
You'll make faces. Okay.
Cool. I will use all 30 feet of my movement to hoof it towards the one on the left.
One on the left. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So you get to about here, which for you means you can hit everything.
Sure does. I will attempt to skewer it out of the air.
Do it.
That's a natural 20.
Of course
it
it
is
is.
skewered.
So you skewer it then.
We're keeping with the same crit rule.
Yes, which is you get max damage on one die, you roll another one and add it to that.
It's 23 points of damage.
What the hell?
Oh.
What are you rolling for damage on that?
D10 plus 4. So max on the D10 is 10. I rolled a 9 plus 4.
Jesus.
Oh boy.
Okay, well that one's absolutely murdered. So you poke up with your pokey stick thing and you skewer the damn thing and it just slides down the pole. It is like at the bottom of the pole now where you're holding it with your hands. It's very gross.
Brazilian steakhouse style.
It's Fogo de Chao in here.
Yeah.
I flick it off the end of the glaive and glare menacingly at the other one. And that's my turn.
Cool. So this one's considered dead. Brando, you're up next.
Oh, Brandel. Oh, okay. I guess I'll just shoot the other guy. But I'm gonna use a cone of. Oh, what is it called? It's not cone of cold. It's ray of frost.
Ray of Frost. Do it up.
Well, oh yeah, 17 plus 6.
That hits.
So that hits, yeah. And then it's 1d8. Right. That is 4 damage.
Great. So it looks kind of like a squid, and so some of its tentacles are clearly frozen now.
Nice.
And it squeals in pain. Okay, Marthala is up. What do we think Marthala would do? What's her movement's 30, right? Let's say she charges towards it. 5, 10, 15, 20.
Well, she has to make sure Gorko is safe first, but then yeah.
Oh, she does. That's
Ooh,
true.
good call.
Well, Gorko is with Brannon, so I feel like that was making sure he was safe.
Okay,
Right.
okay. Sure.
Oh, right. I'm just a babysitter now.
Hey, you're the one that chose the hang back, dude. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So she gets about here, so she can't quite attack, but she's on the move.
She's got a
She
hand
could throw
axe
a
she
hand
can
axe.
throw at it.
Great. I am so glad you guys are here. Let's say she does that. Roll things. What do I roll? 20? D20?
Yeah, D20.
D20.
Oh,
And she has a
God.
plus
She
6.
rolled a fucking nat 1, so she
Whoop.
fails that. Sorry, Marthala. This shouldn't
You
count.
broke
broke
the
the
streak.
hit.
Whoa.
She what? Yeah, I know. I ruined her streak. I don't think my rolls should ruin Marthala's streak.
Right.
I feel like.
So we'll just pretend it didn't happen.
Nobody saw anything.
So what?
Geth, you're up.
I'd move next to Quentin.
5,
And
10,
Sacred
15,
Flame, that's
25,
Gwyeth.
30. What is your range on Sacred Flame?
60 feet.
Cool. Definitely within range.
So Dex 14.
Dex 14. Son of a. Okay, you're fired. That hits.
To the dice jail.
Damage.
Takes 5 radiant damage.
Okay, so one of its other tentacles is like slowly burning to death, I guess. You
Right.
said 5, right?
Yep.
But it is still floating. It is very unhappy, though. Quentin, you're up.
Okay.
Mate.
I think I'm right next to it, and
No, you're not right next to it at all. Look at the map. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I'm.
That's Marthala. You're blue.
Oh, you're right. I am
Technically,
blue.
he is green.
Yep, I keep thinking I'm Marthala.
You're not
She's
Marthala.
prettier than I am.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, technically I'm green, so I can't see myself on this map. It's all
5,
green.
10, 15,
I guess I'll
20.
just fire another
Okay.
bow at it
Do
from
it.
where I was.
Hit it.
That's a 19 plus 6.
Is that your copper die?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, I have that.
No, he's
No,
got a
that's my other copper die.
big damn copper die. They dented one of the corners on it. I don't want him playing with, but
It's
no,
it's
no,
fine.
No,
Oh my goodness.
Is it though?
DM,
Yes.
you have so many d20s. The DM says you can't use one of them. It's okay. That hits. Roll damage.
Okay, which is a 1d8. This. Of course it is. It's a 1 plus 4 is 5.
All right. So
I mean, at least you hit this time.
Hmm?
At least you hit this time.
that's true.
True.
Yeah, you're keeping that streak going. Okay, so this crossbow bolt zips through one of this thing's eyes, and it just flops to the ground, dead.
Yay.
All right, so you have conquered both squiddy things. We are out of initiative. Marthala is very close to this dragon, which is hissing at her and struggling.
I'm gonna get closer to the dragon.
And we said the dragon is pinned under some kind of rock array.
Yeah, it looks like this part of the tunnel caved in, and she got stuck in the cave-in. And so there are two fairly largish boulders crushing her chest and wings.
And Quentin has informed us that the brass dragons are pretty cool.
Yeah, last session, Quentin informed you that brass dragons tend to be not evil.
So Q, we want to get this out from the boulders, right?
I mean, let's go talk to her first. But yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah. I want to get closer.
We
to
should
that.
really help. She might be agitated and may not answer any of our questions.
So I'll kind of walk up towards her and say, hey friend, can we give you a hand out of this?
And let me look.
Fire breath.
She's trying to like get away, and she's like, "Who are you? Who are you?"
Is that
Kinda-
audible and in common? How is this?
It is audible. It is in common. Oh no, it is audible and it is in Draconic.
Oh,
Oh.
so
Well, shit.
Right.
I do not understand.
So we just hear.
I'll try saying it again in Elvish and in Sylvan.
None of you speak Draconic.
No.
Nope.
I do not.
But wait. Can she understand me? I think she can understand me, right?
Why can she understand?
She's not a
you?
beast.
Oh fuck! It's not a beast.
She's a dragon.
She's a
Damn
dragon.
it. Okay, no, never mind. Yeah.
One moment while I do this ritual.
Just
So you-
Also, who
Damn
are
it.
you?
So you walk up and start doing a ritual when you see that nobody can talk to the dragon, basically.
Well,
If he's,
well, I probably would rush over and attempt to ineffectually push the boulder, which would clearly not work.
she snaps
and then
at
I'll
you when
probably-
you do this, but like you're nowhere near her.
Easy now. Okay, fine. And then I'll start doing the ritual.
Okay.
the second you start to cast magic, I immediately draw my bow on you.
Oh yikes!
Ah, for fuck's sake.
I'm repeat my friend's question. Who are you and why are you here?
Oh boy.
My name is Sarlo Inglerunas. It's terrible.
First time you've said that.
No, it's not the best time for introductions. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm in the middle of casting magic.
But believe we've all noticed, and we'd really like to know what you're doing.
I'm attempting to communicate with this queen.
I see. And I'll kind of like look over at Brandon and Brandel and be like, kind of like nod, like, is this guy on the up and up?
Brandon, have you joined the party?
My god, is that a Loxodon? You are
His
a
name is-
strange group.
His name is Druge, and now I've actually notched the arrow and pulled it back.
Oh! It's a strange sight. Am I crazy?
He's got a name.
I don't know it.
I just
Nice
told
to meet you. Right. I didn't know it before you told me.
I'll kind of
What
sigh.
is the dragon doing in the middle of all of this?
She's trying to like get out of the
she's
rocks,
still
right?
trying to get out of the rocks, like, and she's like wheezing a little bit, like she's trying to inhale to do something, and she can't. Like she just keeps coughing out, and like the boulders are moving a little bit as she breathes, but like she can't quite move them off of her.
Guys,
I'll-
we should really help her.
Hang on a second, Brandon. Do you join the party, or are you still hanging out behind these boulders?
I'll take little Gorkle up a little closer, but I'm gonna be behind Brandel.
Behind Brandel.
I'm
Okay,
like-
so I'll put you over here.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep hiding behind him. That's not had a
'Cause
great
he's
success rate,
huge.
but
I'm kind of tall.
He's pretty big. He is a fur boulder.
yeah, but you keep trying to hide behind me.
And turning
I have,
invisible
like, kinda
and
hit points.
shooting. I think the reason
guys
you're
are trying to invent perpetual motion.
I think the reason you're staying behind him is because he tends to shoot the things in front of him, friend or foe.
Mm.
That's also true.
Accurate.
So I'll sigh, put the arrow, I'll stow the bow and the arrow, and kind of like, gesture to Druge so we can start trying to pull some of these rocks off the dragon. And like I'll motion to her like I'm motioning like I'm gonna pick the rocks off of her and she can go.
She's
Hand
like
motions.
she's like pushing away.
Oh, miming. That's a good.
She's like pushing away and like hissing and like snapping if you come near the boulders.
Yeah.
Should I do a performance check to try and calm her down? Does that work?
Sure, I'll let you do that.
Ooh.
Yeah, go ahead.
I like
All
that.
right. I'm gonna pull out my lyre.
You do that, Jesus. That is a very good idea. Do that.
I'm gonna grumble something about you all don't know how to deal with beasts, much less these dragons. I better take care of this before you bloody well kill yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, someone with some
17.
sense.
Okay. I was really waiting for you to roll poorly on that after being mouthy.
So are you gonna play the lyre to her?
I am. I'm not going to accompany it with singing, because that's not my jam.
Okay, so she's still panting because she can't get a full breath in, but she stopped sort of like pushing her front legs against the ground to try and back away, and her head is sort of hanging because she looks exhausted. Like the edges of her scales are all gray. Like you can tell that this dragon is just like completely exhausted and sort of at her wit's end. And she says something which you can't understand, and is like weaving her head sort of to the beat of the music, and she seems much calmer.
All right, now, lads. Easy does it. Just sneak in there and slowly start doing this while I keep up a little tune here.
While that's happening, I will grab
Oh boy.
whichever boulder seems to be causing the most trouble and lift that off.
Okay,
give my
so
hand.
the closest one to
Yeah, I'll
you
try to
is
help
this
too.
this boulder on the back, and it's conveniently far away from her head, like the
Great.
farthest away from her head, and is like holding down her hind legs. And then there's another boulder sort of on her other side that's holding down her her wing and like part of her chest. And so if you can get this boulder off, like you can safely assume that will sort of send the message of like, we're here to help you, beyond the fact that we kill the things trying to kill you. And then she might let you like on the other side of her to get the other boulder up.
Great. I'll
Right.
start with the first boulder closest to me.
Okay, so who's helping lift this? Druge,
Quentin.
Quentin,
I'll help too.
Geth, Brandel?
Alright.
Did
Yeah,
I
Is
hear
sure.
it over
Why not?
half a ton?
I mean, I could try.
I
I
don't.
think I count as a large creature for carrying stuff. I think that's the thing.
What I was
I
gonna do
have-
is have you guys do a strength check,
Okay.
like a group strength
okay.
check, like the same way that I do stealth checks. Like you do you do a
Uh-huh.
group stealth check, and if most of you
Yeah,
do good,
alright.
then you're good, kind of thing.
Understandable.
Okay.
Just pure strength or athletics?
Let's go athletics.
Yeah.
Oh boy. That's
But
kind of the
is
same.
this
thing.
combat? Does this?
This does not count as combat.
Oh, 19!
Great. So
I got an
Brandel
18.
Oh,
So So Brandel,
I got a
19,
12.
Geth, 18, whatever your name is, 12. Quentin, what'd you get?
I got a 6.
You're
Nice.
terrible. Druge?
25.
Okay.
Get out of the way, lad. You're only making them trip.
Okay, so you guys do get this boulder off, and I'm gonna say I imagine you guys sort of like get your fingers under it and roll it away because it's fairly round. That frees up her back legs, and she tucks them immediately up under herself, and like curls her tail around, and is still wheezing. Like you can see now that you've cleared this boulder that the boulder on her other side is really like pressing down on her chest, and it's really causing problems breathing. She sees you like as you're like lifting the boulder off of her, she's like watching very anxiously, but as it comes off and like she can move her legs, she like calms down even further, but then she realizes she's still trapped and she starts to pant even faster, like she's starting to panic about the boulder on her.
I will move over and start to move the other boulder.
So her eyes are a little wild, like she's not snapping at you. It seems like she's gritting her teeth together, because she recognizes that she's a bit panicky, but she doesn't want to hurt you because clearly you're trying to help her. But like she's on the edge right now.
Yeah,
So,
she's nervous. Okay.
So who's gonna try this boulder? Druge?
I'll help him
Same.
too again.
Okay, same group. Go ahead and roll.
Oh, that's a 2.
You suck.
It's a 14.
That's better.
The 25 again.
Good.
Oh, all right. Sure. No problem.
Guess. Sarlo.
Well, that's a 17.
Good. Sarlo.
Oh, what were we rolling for? Sorry,
Athletics check.
14.
Okay. So this one's a little more difficult to get up off of her because of the way it's positioned and like there are other boulders pressing on it. But you guys managed to get the boulder lifted just enough that she can snake her way out. And as you drop the boulder, it sort of like clips her tail and she squeals a little bit but gets her tail out from underneath it. She's like gulping in deep breaths, and she's scraped and bloody and bruised, and one of her wings is drooping. She keeps trying to pull it up and wincing, and it like droops back down. The one on the side that the boulder was pressing on, and as she like takes deep breaths, like she's wincing, like her ribs hurt, and she's sort of backing herself into these boulders because you guys are sort of surrounding her at this point.
Druge will back up and appear
Same.
as unthreatening as possible for being locks it on.
And Brandon,
Giant blood
are you
covered
still playing the lyre?
I am. Do I need to roll again?
No, I don't think so. I think I just wanted to establish that you were still
Oh,
doing
yeah.
that.
Let's
So
all back up.
y'all back up, and you're still playing the lyre. And so
I
you
am.
Just... Yes.
Can I take a step forward while I do it and
Yeah.
throw a little oomph into the notes and have them wash over her in a healing type manner?
Sure, that sounds great.
Healing word
Nice.
for 5.
Perfect. Give me 1 second. I am noting. So as the notes wash over her, she's been pulling her wing up and like wincing when she breathes, and that stops. Like her wing like sits where it's supposed to, and she's still wincing a little bit when she's breathing in, but she can clearly breathe much easier, and her wing feels a lot better, and she looks surprised as a dragon can, and like looks at you curiously and like takes a step forward, like you have intrigued her, and she says some more things in Draconic and like tips her head sideways like she's trying to communicate, and she points at the lyre and she points back at herself, and she's talking.
Oh.
Well, if no one's going to
I'm-
point a bow at
I'm
me,
just gonna-
I will attempt my ritual. I mean,
I'm just watching it with my hand on my rapier.
I'll resist the urge to stick my tongue out at you.
Okay, which
I'm
ritual is this? Sorry, go ahead, Brandon.
I'm just gonna keep playing the lyre and speaking softly and soothing, just nonsense words.
Right.
She's repeating some of the words you're saying, like she's trying to understand.
Okay.
Right there, lovely. You got those pretty wings. You ain't nothing
Oh,
like
she's
a
gonna have an
chicken.
accent.
What ritual are you trying to cast, Sarlo?
Comprehend languages.
Great. What does that do?
It allows me to understand language.
How convenient.
Any spoken language.
How long does it take to cast?
Isn't it?
10 minutes? I think it's 10 minutes.
As a ritual, 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you cast comprehend languages, and what does casting look like for you? Are you like drawing on the ground in chalk? Are you muttering some words and wiggling your fingers? Like, what does this look like for you?
As is, let's see, this is, this is verbal and somatic, so I'll probably have to be talking a bit, and I imagine I would be doodling in the dust on the ground, probably with pinches of stuff from a pouch on my belt, gesturing occasionally. So it looks a bit odd, and I'm mumbling to myself.
She watches you do this. She watches you do this, and like about halfway through, her eyes light up, like she recognizes what she's doing, and she like waits. Like she's like waiting for you to be done. And as you like cast the last piece, she goes, "Oh, finally you can understand me."
Ha ha! Success!
Druge is watching.
Do you
all this
understand
very
me?
Suspiciously.
And she says,
Quint leans over to Druge and just like, what's the crazy hobo doing?
and she tilts her head. Are you speaking common?
Yes. Does she understand that?
She does. She understands it like she's just started learning this language. Dragons tend to pick up
Does
languages
Undercommon work?
fairly quickly.
Or Dwarven?
The only thing
I've got both of those.
I think
she's got
she
is
only wants Draconic.
she's only got Draconic. She's really young, so she's only got Draconic. But like, so as you say, do you understand me? She says, I think I am understanding you. I've never heard this language before, but you all seem to be speaking it, so I'm picking up pieces there. And she points at Brandon, and she says, he's been talking for a while, so I'm getting there. Keep talking.
Well,
Chicken
folks,
lips
we should have a
and
conversation.
lizard lips.
What was that, Brandon?
It's chicken lips, lizard lips, alligator eyes, buzzard eggs,
So
and salamander thighs.
she's
What are
keeping
you
an
saying? What?
she's got one ear pointed at Brandon, and she's clearly like absorbing as much as she can. And so she turns back to Sarlo, and is that right, Sarlo?
Sarlo.
Yeah,
Correct.
and she says, "Thank you so much for freeing me. Thank all of you." And she sort of gestures at all of you. She winces and pulls her front arm back, and she says, I really appreciate the help. I got trapped in this. I was running from this awful green dragon that attacked my family, and I came in here, and the dragon is scrabbling at the outside of this tunnel, and it started collapsing around me, and then the whole thing started collapsing around me, and you can see like this whole cavern is riddled with like debris and things, and you saw those two blocked tunnels from earlier. And she said, and I've been down here for a week, and those things just found me. I've been trying to keep quiet. They just found me, and they were coming after me. So thank you so much for saving me.
She says giant green dragon. I abruptly lose the music.
Does she
twang.
say giant green dragon in a language we understand?
Well,
I think she's trying
Yeah,
to speak.
never
common,
mind.
right?
Sorry.
Yeah, so she says that to Sarlo, who understands it. Sarlo,
Oh,
what do
okay.
you tell the rest of them?
Oh, yikes.
Well, I mean, I'd probably still be listening, but when that came up, I'd probably be looking around all of a sudden. But if she pauses, I'll be like, so she was trapped in here by a green dragon.
Cue
So-
twang.
So as the twang happens,
Twang.
her head whips around at you, and she says, "What's wrong?"
Ask her
Oh, you're-
ask her how big it was.
How? Oh, I'm not speaking any different language, so that's. I'll try.
Damn it.
I'll gesture real big, like how big?
And she says, really big, like bigger than my mom. Like she's
Oh.
huge and
Well, I don't.
old."
Nope.
Right, that does it. I'm out. I told you, dragons don't fuck around.
Yeah, I'm
So
gonna
It
go
was a
grab
week ago.
Gorko's hand.
the tunnel behind her is completely blocked. Like there's no way anybody's getting through that. The tunnel, there's another northern tunnel which is also completely blocked. Nobody's getting anywhere through that. And this did happen a week ago. And yeah, so that.
So the 2 channels leading up are closed.
Isn't this exciting?
And she looks
Look,
confused.
like, I don't know who you are, but this ain't what I signed up for.
Friend, we have different definitions of excitement.
Also,
need to
he's
get out of
totally
here.
not getting a cut.
I'll just elbow you like, you didn't know about it if you don't say anything. George, we've talked about discretion.
What?
Well, I'm probably ignoring that completely.
Okay. So she's looking back and forth between the two of you. She seems to be understanding you a bit better. She says, "Thank you again for saving me. I've like I said, I've been down here for a week, and the only other person I've seen went down that tunnel down there to the east and never came back through here. I was trying to keep quiet because I was trying to, I don't know, I didn't want to attract attention. So thank you for seeing me and helping me."
Yeah. All in a day's work. Something.
I'll walk up and kind of, bow in front of the dragon and say, we're glad we could be of service. My name is Quentin.
And she says, "Oh, my name is Debshaba. You can call me Dab."
Okay.
My name is
Did you
Gas.
Pleasure
say-
to
We're
meet
friends
you.
now.
Yes,
We can
that's-
call her Dab.
Yes, shut up.
Okay.
You are not allowed to make fun of the GM's
I
names.
mean, I wasn't
No,
gonna say anything.
Don't do it.
There's
I wasn't
bullshit that
gonna
goes
say
with that.
anything, but Tech did.
We are fighting, and I could murder all of you. Don't make fun of the GMs.
Suddenly it
distorted
turns into
base
a
noises.
black dragon.
She nods at each of you as you guys share your names. Gorko's probably gone back over to Marthala to hold her hand. Marthala probably picks him up and puts him on her hip for a few minutes, and he sets his head down on her, as he realizes there's no the dragon is not going to try and eat him or anything. The
That's what he
dragon's
thinks.
sitting a little more comfortably, and she's licking some of her wounds, and she's looking around she doesn't quite know where to go.
Oh.
So asking probably won't help.
Asking what?
Asking what she's going to do next.
Does she look too
Just-
big to fit through the tunnels we came through?
She does not look too big to fit through the tunnels you came through.
But the tentacle's still there, right? I was gonna tell her, but I mean, I guess we have to go back anyway.
What are you going to say?
Yeah, is there an exit?
Do we?
So, Sarlo, you came down here through the fissure. You
Mhm.
came down through a different route than the other guys since they fell through a ceiling. So you know that there are many ways out of here. You actually wormed your way through the tunnel to the right, the northern tunnel to the right. It's not as filled in, and you got lost in that area. But you know that there is a branch that leads out to the coast.
Okay.
Well, I'll share. There should be an exit that way, but that won't help our new dragon friend.
That's good to know, though. We don't have to go back to the tentacle room.
And she says, "Where are you
For
going?"
what now?
You
Never
don't want
mind.
to know.
Well, I am just kind of exploring. These gentlemen I've just met, I have no idea what they're doing down here.
She looks expectantly at the rest of you.
I don't think we do either.
I'll kind of look sideways at Brandon.
Yeah, we just we just came down here for a bloody day trip.
My, we seem to see eye to eye.
And she says, "Oh, that's funny. I thought you
Bloody
guys were
likely,
were
mate.
with the human that I saw earlier in the week.
The
you
human.
not? Are you not down here
He
to find her?"
excuse you?
And she says, I saw a human come down here earlier in the week, and I didn't say anything because I was trying to stay hidden. She went down that tunnel to the east.
Maybe
Is
the
that
guy
one of the
was
non-covered ones?
Orko.
It is yes. There's the tunnel to the west, bottom left-hand corner that these guys came through, and there's a tunnel down to the bottom right-hand corner that she's saying she saw an armored human go through.
Well, that seems like the likeliest mystery.
Do
Well,
we understand anything she's saying yet, or is this still
Oh, right.
translation?
Broken common.
So there was an armored female human that went down the other path. I am assuming you gentlemen and lady, etc., came through that far southwest area. I came through
there.
I came through the northeast. But she's saying that someone else left this area through the southeast.
Druge will switch to some broken Sylvan he's been picking up from Quentin and kind of elbow Quentin and be like, does that sound like the captain we're supposed to be saving?
Fucking on Sylvan.
Yeah, and I'll reply and say, yeah, that's probably right. I like the first thing I say is I'll correct his pronunciation on like one of the words he said.
Oh yeah,
and then
because
I'll
it's
say,
real bad.
yeah, like with
Oh,
I'm trying to like
God.
trying to help you like learn it, so like if you have to, you don't make a fool of yourself.
Are you nice about it, or are you being a dick?
Oh yeah, I'm to Druge, I'm nice about it. Yeah.
Okay.
This is something we've been doing for the past while. And I'll kind of turn to the group and I'll say, well, it sounds like our friend who came in ahead of us maybe headed that way. So to answer her question, and I'll kind of like gesture and look towards the dragon and say, we're probably going to head that way.
She looks eager for a second, and then she looks sort of like crestfallen, and she says, "I can't go with you. There are protections around the city against dragons."
My.
I'm
And
assuming you relay that.
How?
she starts to like
Oh,
look
yes.
anxious and step from foot to foot.
What ways can you leave? Can you leave?
She looks back at the tunnel and she says, "I could probably," and she looks back down at herself and she said, "If I were at full strength, I could probably dig myself out, but I don't want to be by myself, and I can't come with you guys. I don't know what to do." She seems sort of like lost, and she's like, "I don't know what to do," and she's very young. And Brandon, do you think Marthala at this point might be kind of like sympathetic and say like, "Oh, come on, we should we should probably at least heal her so she's not so hurt. Do you think she would say something like that?
Yeah.
Great. She says that.
All right, I'll walk up and do cure wounds on.
She flinches as you walk up to her, but then like sort of holds herself steady. And what does your cure wounds look like? Do you like touch her or anything?
Yeah,
I
just
guess
like
that's-
gently touch her
give
scale.
her a pat.
And so this like wash of energy like flows over her, and she stands up. She sits up a little straighter, and she takes a big deep breath experimentally, and then she flips her head over her shoulder and breathes at the rocks. And what does she do? Yeah, son of a bitch. 1 second. She does something. It looks really cool, and I don't have any of the apps open that I need. No, not that one. Hold, please. I'm so sorry. Unprepared. Oh,
It's okay.
Jam. Nope. Went too far. Yes, here. Shoop. She breathes over her shoulder, and a cone of fire washes over one of the boulders and leaves like a soot streak. And she shakes her head like she's shaking, like if she had hair, she'd be shaking that back from her face. And she says, "Oh, that is so much better. Thank you so much."
So you're saying she whips her hair back and forth?
Yes.
Great.
Like a silly little girl.
Oh boy.
Heal her. Great. So she looks very grateful at Geth, and she says, "Thank you so much. I really want to be able to come with you, but I can't come any closer to the city. I'll need to leave. But I don't know where I am. I flew for such a long time to get away from that green dragon, and all I know is that I can feel those protections. And will you guys help me?"
Absolutely, friend.
You okay?
I
And-
guess we are.
Guys, we have to help her.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's probably a good investment on our part. Friend, you said you came from this other tunnel over here.
I did.
How much would we have to clear out to get her through?
She walks over there as she hears this to kind of look at this tunnel. And Sarlo, you sort of wormed your way through a crack over the top. Like there's actually a 2-foot gap at the top between like the boulders and like the tunnel beyond. And you know that there are probably some tight squeezes, but she's young enough and small enough that she can probably worm her way through if you guys can clear just like 1 or 2 of the bigger boulders from the top.
Okay.
Oh, I'll relay that.
Having watched Sarlo for a bit during his ritual casting and interaction with the dragon, how much of what he's saying do I think is bullshit?
Roll an insight check.
Oh boy.
Good call.
There we go.
I forgot we were playing with Bearbold, and that might all be complete lies.
12?
You're not quite sure whether what he's saying is true or not. You don't know enough about him.
Okay. Druge will hang out where he's at and glare suspiciously.
And random, I did that because the way that I'm doing that, instead of having you roll against him, is he literally just doesn't know enough about you. Once you guys have played together for a little while, I'll have you like roll a persuasion or deception or anything like that you might want to like charisma, something like that to see.
Fair enough.
Trust us, you know?
I imagine Starlo is a bit of an embellisher, so that probably adds a little.
Yeah, and Druge has seen some shit, so doesn't have a high tolerance for bullshit.
Right.
Ah.
What was that, Tech?
Very correct.
Yeah.
I guess I'll turn to Marthala and Druge and say, well, do we want to try and give these boulders a hand over here? Still completely not acknowledging that the warlock and the cleric did more lifting than I did.
Marthala nods and hands Gorka off to Relic. Relic, do you hold him or just like no and like take his hand?
He's the same size as I am.
Marthala does not acknowledge
Very
this at
good
all. She
point.
just like holds him out like she's handing you a baby. But yeah, he is absolutely the same size as you.
do you want me to do with that?
And she rolls her eyes and is like, "Watch him," and sets him down.
What do you think I'm doing?
And he holds his arms out like he wants to be picked up, even though he's like literally the same size as you.
Not bloody likely, mate. Stay here.
He hangs his head and like sneaks his hand into yours. Okay, so you
I'll
guys.
allow it.
You
Yeah,
allow it?
Ruzo watched that happen and then move over and start moving whatever boulders are required.
Okay, so a bunch of you go over there. She's helping, for sure. And so you get enough of a big boulder out that she sort of worms her way through. And she has to, like, she leaves a couple scales behind, but she gets through to the other side. And then
I'll immediately pocket those scales.
she turns around and pokes her head back over their boulders and says, "Thank you so much. Now, you're gonna meet me outside the city, right? Because I can't come into the city. You promise you'll meet you. You promise? Are you please? Do you promise?"
We'll do
What?
our very best, Dab.
Oh, thank you.
What did you just
Excuse
promise to
you?
the dragon?
Oh, she just asked to meet us later.
Oh, and he says that I'll kind of turn to her and bow and say, "Of course, my lady."
And she says,
Oh,
"Thank you,
no.
I
thank you."
do
thank
not
you."
tip a fedora that I am not wearing. I realized as I said that.
You manifest Fedora out. I know it.
Wow. It looks mighty strange on a furbolg.
That's fair.
So she's gonna sit there and sort of like watch anxiously as you guys do hopefully something else.
Yeah, and we'll start at do I have? Yeah, I'll take out 2 rations and hand them to her, see if she's interested at all.
She sort of wrinkles her nose and she says, "No, thank you."
I'll just nod my head and put them back in my bag.
Okay, so I'd like to take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
Bio break. Is everybody okay with that?
Sure.
Stream,
Yes.
we'll be right back. I'm
Sure.
going to mute the mics now. Hi, Stream. We are back, except for Wordman, who hates everybody. Sigh. Okay, so you guys have just dug a tunnel for the dragon to go through. She's gonna worm her way out to the outside world. She has desperately begged you to meet her outside of town. She's super anxious about it. She's staring at you anxiously like a dog does when you leave it alone in the house.
Oh wow.
What are you guys doing
Oh
next?
yeah, I forgot. She's a baby.
I'll start heading for the other tunnel. Oh well, check those dead bodies. Sorry, let me back up. I did grab the scales that she shed.
Okay.
How many did I manage to pick up?
5.
5. Great. And then I'll go check out the squid boys.
Can we pause for a second? Why
Yeah.
is your character grabbing what is essentially spell components?
They're worth money.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
they're dragon
I
scales,
want you to
but-
imagine your backstory. And
Yeah.
what reason would this character have for picking this kind of stuff up?
To sell them.
Is that something he would do?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to talk offline about this because it doesn't match
Okay.
what I remember of this particular character's backstory.
Okay.
I don't know
Do the
what
rest
you
of us
would
see this?
see him pick up the scales.
Yeah.
Probably, because you're all.
Yeah,
helping
I am
protect the
definitely trying to pocket them.
Are you trying to like deception?
Yes.
Okay.
Subtly, like sleight of
Or
hand.
sleight of
Roll a
hand,
sleight of
yeah.
hand, and we'll see if that beats people's passive perception.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's probably not.
Say the number out loud.
Oh, sorry, 13.
Thank you.
Oh, it beats mine.
Those of you who
Yeah,
are
it's
looking
mine too.
passive
Nah,
perception.
mine's 12.
I know it doesn't beat Geth's because I was looking at it earlier.
I see you, boy.
It also
It
doesn't
see you,
ties
boy.
mine.
So it does beat it. Doesn't beat Druge though, so he's just gonna watch that happen.
So Druge
say
and Geth
nothing.
both see this happen.
I'm gonna look at Drew.
In this opportunity to take out my disguise kit, and I'm painting the goblin's face.
Gorko?
What?
I took
Gorko
my
face
disguise
paint
kit
him.
out while you guys were digging in the boulders, and I started painting war paint on
Amazing.
Nice, alright.
Gorko would like to rage.
Gorko.
He is super excited about this, and he actually asks, like, can you do one like Druge? And he's, like, pointing at Druge's tusk, the runes that show up, and he was like, that'll make me strong, like Master Druge. And then as you're doing this, like, he will not hold still, and he is babbling about how this is going to make him a better magic user. And he's waving his wand around, and he's like very, very like intensely explaining all of these things to you.
It sure, mate.
He like completely ignores your gruff tone and has decided that you are another like Geth/Marthala for him. And so like he's like rotating between the three of you guys like with hands, like just like holding a hand for a while, and then he rotates to another one, like whoever's not busy. I love Gorko.
We all do.
Okay, so you grabbed 5. Okay, so you head over to the mantles. I don't know what you could pick up from those.
Oh, I'm just trying to take a look at them. I'm not trying to like harvest anything. I'm just trying to see like
Okay, they are squishy and gross.
just trying to take a good look at them. So if like maybe look at their claws and see if like we see anything down the tunnel, if I would recognize that maybe they had been left marks by them, just so I have an idea of what's in the tunnel to keep a lookout for it. That's all I want.
You don't see
Sure.
anything from like on the ground. They have like
Yeah.
sort of like that like but all the way around like they look like an umbrella basically, like a very squishy
Okay.
umbrella.
Just
and
trying to get a good idea of what they are.
where
So
the
if we run in,
points of the umbrellas
something.
come off are like tentacles with like
Gross.
little hook claws on them.
Do they
Um,
also go to an academy?
boo.
Oh.
No. Oh, no, that wasn't even good. No. They also look like wild variants. They don't look like any domestic dark mantles that you may have run across in the past.
Okay.
I probably
So
should have
no
prefaced
sense checking.
that with, have any of you hung out in the Underdark much?
Nope.
Oh,
believe
Probably
so.
not much.
They look like squishy umbrellas. The end.
Great.
Not my area of expertise. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys do next?
Are we going to the tunnel?
I don't know. Are
Think
you?
Sounds
we're going.
good.
Yeah, we might as well. We can't go
Alright.
backwards, so we'll go forward.
Well, you guys
Do
still
you
haven't.
folks mind if I tag along?
Drew's glares.
I'll look sideways at Brandel. And then over at Marthala.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start forward and say like, we'll keep an eye on him.
You guys already know my answer.
Well, we're going this way, mate. We can't really well stop you.
Just
so...
for the record, Geth, you are friends with Sarlo now.
Oh, right.
He helped that
All right.
dragon. Like, he must be a good guy, right?
I'm trying to rein in the invite everybody to the park.
Why?
Hey, if it's what he do, it's what he do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, man, come on.
There you go. I just kind of sigh and roll my eyes and walk towards the tunnel.
Okay, so you guys head into the tunnel in what order?
If no one objects, I'll try and take the lead. Keep an eye out.
Yeah, Drew's will be right behind.
You know what I should have done on the break was think about what you guys are walking into.
Yeah. As I'm walking away, I'll look
Well,
back
that's not
like
ominous.
I'll look back like at the dragon and just nod and then go.
She
gonna
sort
walk
of like
next to Sar-
waves a little claw. You're gonna walk next to who? Sarlo?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm solely in the courageous middle.
You're in the courageous middle. God, yes.
I
Sure.
love that like half of Brannon's strategy in this campaign so far is how many people he can surround himself with as shield. It's great.
Meat shields are useful.
All right.
age, mate, by playing the brave mess.
Does this look about right
12?
to you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I might
think
be
so.
like I think I've been trying to keep like a good 5-10 feet between me and everybody else just in case.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Case of
General.
what?
in case I step on something so I don't.
In case he finds another obligatory
Yeah.
pool of acid.
Yeah, so like if I trigger something, not everyone's caught up in it.
All right.
I like that time you said the hinges were totally fine.
They were.
So
Were they?
I will probably recall my familiar, which I assume I dismissed before fighting,
Oh.
which is an owl.
I forgot you.
So-
had a familiar.
Oh,
Classy,
owl
classy.
familiar. Yeah.
Pretty classy. All right.
I forgot you had an owl. Yes.
Well, the owl has my vote.
Great. You have recalled owl. Does the owl have a name
I've
yet?
recalled owl. No, I'm not great at coming up with those, so we'll
Okay,
do that.
we'll
in a bit.
figure that out later.
I'm upset.
Blowfish.
Why are you upset?
There's no name.
The
for
owl's
the
name is
owl.
Blowfish?
You're
Yeah,
upset because the owl doesn't have a name?
Yep.
because he's Hootie and he's Blowfish.
No.
Uh,
Absolutely not. Not in any way, shape, or form.
So I'll be
Super
kind
no.
of trying to keep. I'm going to be trying to keep an eye out for any traps or any of those creepy umbrellas if they're hanging out or anything that looks like they might be passed through or anything like that.
Okay, so there's actually a pretty short tunnel between that cavern area and here.
Okay.
And get it. You walk into what is very clearly a crumbling chamber. It
Mhm.
is dominated by an altar against the far wall, above which hangs some kind of construct gearwork mechanism that ends in a massive maul. Like it's like the size of Brannon. It's huge.
Maul as in like a mace.
The wall to the left of the altar has fallen in, and so that whole like corner is crumpled down, and there's rubble.
Great.
On the floor near their altar is a golden device, which I am representing on the map with a telescope, but you should imagine looks like an orrery housing, so like a watch mechanism type thing. The device
Oh,
is
okay.
battered and falling apart. It's revealing exposed gears and spokes, and its exterior pieces and plating are scattered across the floor. It looks very much like it has been squished by them all. Splayed on the floor next to the device is the corpse of a dwarf, which I have just represented with a skeleton, but like a tiny skeleton. So like,
Got it.
don't make fun of me. Roll me a perception check.
Okay.
Everyone or
Every-
just Quentin?
Yeah,
Everybody?
let's just say everybody.
All right.
Ooh,
That is
not great.
6 plus
It's a natural 20.
Oh, jeez.
+2, so 8.
5.
Okay. Who rolled a 5?
10.
Druid.
Sarlo rolled a 5.
Good job,
Oh,
Sarlo.
sorry.
So
12 for Druge.
that actually works out
Alright.
fairly well because of like the order that you guys are in.
I mean,
So
yeah.
like on the map.
Quentin had a 19, by the way.
Yeah, that works perfectly. So Quentin, you notice you and Druge being in the front notice that there's in that southwest corner of the room is a muscular female human. She's dressed in the livery of the Waterdeep City Watch, and she is represented here on the map as Basset Hound. Her eyes are closed, and she is breathing deeply as though she is asleep.
Hmm.
What do you do? Do you like make people stop? Do you?
Did you, and you heard Geth said he got a natural 20 on that?
Yes. You magically know this too. We'll say you snuck it. Geth, you actually recognize her as Sergeant Tish, which you magically remember that captain at the very beginning of this adventure telling you guys that Sergeant Tish and Colonel Boot came down here and never came back. You guys found Colonel Boot's body in the spider chamber in one of the Weeby Orby
Oh, right.
spiderweb thingies. And so this is the other person in that pair.
Guys, this is one of the people that came down here to scope things out that never.
Is she asleep?
Is who?
Yeah.
So you guys all move into the room and you see this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to go over to the contraption.
You're gonna go straight over to the contraption.
Oh boy. I'm gonna
Let's
ready
start
Magic
looking at
Blast.
stuff.
All right, tell me.
Can I
when-
grab him before he goes
Yeah,
over
there you
the
go.
contraption?
Roll a dex check.
Use your trunk.
So
Right
you're
around his
gonna-
neck.
If I see something
It's
that
a
is
natural
not...
20 on the dex check.
Oh wow, okay.
So you grab him with your trunk,
grab him
or
by the
however
wrist?
you want to. Like, go ahead and describe that.
Yeah, I think you'd see him wandering over to the altar-ish thing. Is that what's happening over here? Does this look weirdly altar-y cultish?
Yes, there's a
Since we've been running into-
gigantic stone altar which makes all the hair at the back of your neck stand up, and you are immediately uncomfortable. And then behind it is this weird folded up, like contraption-y looking thing with a giant maul on the end of it.
Yeah, none of that. As soon as a weird dude from the dragon room starts wandering towards that, Druge will kind of grab him with the trunk around the neck and say, you don't want to be messing with cults and altars. Trust me.
I will have you know, I am an archaeologist, and that is my business.
As he's talking, Druge will
trunk
just
me?
lift him up and move him backwards.
Just walk
gonna-
the other direction.
I'm just gonna walk to him and be like, oh, we should probably check before touching. And I'm gonna raise my hand and I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Nice.
Great, that is good.
That's good.
Roll me actually.
Borf.
I could have done that.
Coulda, but you didn't.
Yeah, but it's gonna take you 10 minutes.
Oh, got him.
I choose not to waste my magic uses.
So you see a aggressively like lack of magic.
Uh-huh.
Like
What?
there
Uh-huh.
are like around the altar there's like magic is kind of everywhere and it's concentrated in different things. Around the altar there is none of it, and where there should be sort of like a smooth, gentle like background of magic, it's all like jagged and broken looking around the altar. Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, that's weird.
What's weird?
And
There's no magic.
Yeah, I mean it's just rocks, isn't it?
Yeah, but it seems like it would somehow suppress magic in some way.
Well, that doesn't sound great.
Guys, I can't spell.
Interesting.
Alter. Ugh.
I'm going to try like creating something with prestidigitation. See if it stops it.
Stops.
Like I could do like soft sounds, shower of sparks. I don't know.
Like in that
Confetti.
area.
Let's make a small shower of confetti and see if it exists.
Okay.
Like on the altar?
Near it. This only has a 10-foot range, so since I'm being held back some,
So
Oh.
you do this and nothing happens.
it does not occur.
No, it occurs, but nothing else happens.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Maybe it's just a weird altar.
Weird
should
cult
be
altars
careful.
are never just weird altars.
We
Does
should
I'll
be careful.
anyone-
Kind of turn and say,
want
oh, while you
to
guys
In-
are worried about that, I'm gonna check with our friend.
Maybe we
Yeah,
should.
yeah. Fine.
Hang on,
Wake
you're
her
gonna
up
check
now.
with who?
I'm gonna wander over to the sergeant.
Oh, wait a second. Yeah. Does she have anything magical?
No.
Sergeant
shit.
Can I
Tish
do a
just
religion
passed
check on
out,
the altar?
probably. Yeah.
She's standing.
Oh,
But she's like,
She is standing upright. There's a corpse of a dwarf on the floor.
I'm gonna walk behind Quentin.
Forgot Gorgo was here. You're gonna walk behind Quentin.
Yeah. I
Um,
wanna look at her.
So Gorko is with Marthala and Brannon, who's in the back. I forgot to put what's his butt in here, so give me 1 second. Gorko. Yes.
And do a religion check on the altar.
Ah, thank God. Yes, you can do a religion check on the altar. Roll me a
Let me
religion
take
check.
a look at it.
11.
Can I take a look at it
Uh,
from where I'm at? Because I can't move.
Yes, you can. Give me 1 second. So, you can see that there are runes all over the altar, but you can't quite place. They look kind of familiar, but you can't quite place where you've seen them before.
Okay.
Sarlo, you can roll an investigation or an arcana.
That is only a 10.
You're having the same problem. Like it looks kind of familiar, but it's not. You're not quite sure where you've seen it before. Or if you've seen it before, like you could tell like it is magic-y, but you're not quite sure. Okay, so over to Quentin.
yeah. I'm gonna approach her cautiously, kind of like trying to catch her eye and seeing what state of mind she's in.
She's.
Do I see any magic on her?
You do. What would you see?
I mean, I don't know. I just want to know. Maybe she has like a magic knife or something.
There is like an aura around her, but you're not quite sure what it does.
Okay, sure.
Does he know what kind of magic it is?
He would if I knew what it was, but I don't know.
Text tech. Tell you.
Would you like to phone a friend?
Would you like
But
to
you're in
phone
the
a
game
friend?
too.
It's true.
I have to remember your real name to text you.
Hey, are those runes an actual language, or are they like glyphs?
They're like glyphs, like runes.
Okay.
Evocation.
Shucks.
So the aura is vaguely enchantment looking.
Enchantment. All right.
Tisha's eyes are closed, and she's breathing deeply, like she's asleep, but she's standing up.
Right. Should we try to rebuild?
So yeah, I'll kind of like, you know, look at Brandel and kind of like crane my neck around and look back at the healers and
I mean, someone put her to sleep. That's for
yeah,
sure.
and I'll say, Tish, are you awake?
She does not respond.
I'm gonna mime. I'm gonna pretend like I'm poking her with a stick.
What is the lighting situation currently?
Just poke her.
I believe Marthala still has a light on the end of her sword.
Right.
Relic, Brandon, do you move out in front of Marthala to mime poking? Like, do you move towards Tish to mime poking with a stick?
Not that far, just so that he can see me.
So as you
Okay.
move forward, Gorko comes with you, and he can suddenly see the dwarven body laying on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And he screams and starts crying and
Oh,
runs towards
no.
the dwarf body.
Oh no.
Oh no.
He's gonna fall to his knees and throw himself on the body, sobbing uncontrollably.
Can I catch him before he makes it to the body?
Roll a dex check.
Oh, that's not great. That's an 8.
He manages to worm away from you.
Okay.
He runs over, throws... Yes?
Wait, go ahead.
He runs over, throws himself on this dead dwarf, and as he does this, Tisha's eyes flicker open, and she pulls out a sword and roll me initiative.
Yeah, shit.
Who pulls out what?
The sergeant that I'm standing next to.
Oh boy, yeah, this is a bad spot.
Yeah, you guys are in
The
a place I
long
can't
range
help
people
you.
are literally in front of the guy.
Okay. Before you, Quentin, can you roll me an insight check in the moment that she's opening her eyes?
Sure. Okay. 18.
So you can tell that her eyes are sort of unfocused.
Okay.
Give me a minute to draw my little thing.
I mean, they have sleep, but I don't know if that'll even work.
Give me 1 second to draw stuff
No problem.
on my little notepad here.
So should I waste my single spell, guys?
I can do it.
Bug it.
As long as you don't put Quentin to sleep too.
I don't know.
Nah,
I
I'll
hear you
probably just
have
waste
Eldritch
bones.
Blast and that you use it constantly.
Because it's either a cantrip or one spell. So
Okay, who all is here?
Oof.
All right. Geth, what's your initiative?
14.
Quentin, what's your initiative?
I had a good number, but then I forgot to write it down before I rolled my insight, so
well, that sucks.
I have to
Dustin.
roll it again.
It does suck for you.
Oh, that's not too bad. Okay. It's 18.
Sarlo, what's your initiative?
14.
Oh, wow.
Brandon? Stash, are you there?
21.
Oh, there we go.
Great. Marthala, can you
Yeah.
roll for her?
It's a 14 on the roll. I don't know what her modifier is.
Her modifier
So
is
2,
16.
16. And then Druge.
8.
What?
8.
Okay, Brandel.
He was still chasing Garko.
Wordman.
14.
14. All right.
What did you get, Gaff?
I think there's like 3 14s or.
Yeah,
14.
there is. Give me 1 second. Oh fuck!
Oh,
I
wow.
rolled another one. Okay, so Sarlo, Geth, and Brandel all roll again.
Sure. Daddy is a 20. Let's go.
Too.
Geth,
Natural
you rolled
20.
a 20 as well.
Yep.
All right.
Roll a
it's
natural
like
20?
Okay.
It's like an
That's-
initiative
So,
battle
Geth
now.
and Brandel both roll again.
All right, all right. 20 again. Let's go. No, that's a 17.
Geth.
I got an 18.
Okay.
God damn it. All right.
So of the three of you, Geth, Brandel, and then Sarlo, you'll go in that order. All right. Let me
All right.
do that thing where I move things around. Give me 1 second to set this up.
Okay, I just want to say I just found out that you can change the color of your character sheet.
Oh, yeah.
Cool, huh?
Super CAD.
Yeah, it looks nice now.
All right. Relic. Relic, you rolled a
New background system.
21? That's a really high number.
I rolled
Oh,
a 19
oh, there you are. You suddenly
Yeah.
pop back in.
with my modifier.
That's really good, dude.
I thought I was finally going to maybe get to go first.
No, you never get to go first.
Wow.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, did you lose us for
The
a
second roll was an 11, by the way. Yeah, I
Me?
definitely did.
Oh, it was an 11? Roll again.
My second roll?
Yeah. Roll again.
My third roll is a 15.
15. Okay, that still works. Then this, and then this,
Yes.
and then this. Okay, so can tell not awake. So this is a fight, which I have labeled fight. All right, Relic, what do you do?
Well, seeing as I'm not sure if our homegirl deserves a crossbow bolt in the head or not. Not doing anything to poor little old goblin head, right?
You're not what?
Alter didn't do anything when Gorka ran over there, right? Nothing. The giant maul didn't smash his poor little goblin frame or anything.
No, the giant maul has not moved.
I reckon I'll mock old Moldy Boots there.
Okay. The Tish? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Popo. Yeah. You dirty Popo just coming down here, tricking us into coming down here, and then I'm grumbling and I'm stuck in a filth pit and it's all your fault. Now you got caught in some kind of spell yourself, so you're mocked.
Mm-hmm. And
You are mocked.
I forgot
Thumb my
to.
nose at the.
Do I roll to resist that, or is it just land?
No, yeah. I
Yep.
think
Nope.
there's
It's a DC 14 Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Had to be stuck in this tunnel and noose
she-
coming out at us.
She saves against that.
No.
What?
She's still mocked though.
She rolled
Yeah.
pretty well. I'm sorry.
And then as a bonus action, I'm going to I'm gonna give old Quentin there some inspiration, a little bodic inspiration. Watch out, mate. Don't let the dozy-eyed cop there get a hold of you.
Okay.
I will reply on my turn.
Okay, you good?
That's a D4, right?
Okay. Yeah.
D6.
D6.
Ooh.
All right, Quentin, you're up.
All right, I'll kind of turn and say thanks, and like, Geez, did she draw swords? I'll draw my rapier and kind of like, oh, there's all these terms I want to use, and this is not useful. I'll kind of like cross my sword with hers, like keeping my sword between hers and mine to kind of defend myself. And man, do yeah, I guess I'll take the dodge action and say, hey, what, you awake? Tish.
She does not respond to you.
Good.
Marthala's up next. Oh, good God. What do we think she would do? I think she might run over to Gorko.
She's gonna go after
Yeah.
Gorko.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
sure.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, so she gets right up next to Gorko. And I think she's going to hang out there and try and, like, pull him away from the body. Geth, what do you do?
I'm gonna run in between Gorko and Tish. So like in that distance there.
Like right there.
Yeah, that works.
5, 10, 15, 20, 20. Yeah, you can get up to about there.
And then I'm gonna cast just look at the sergeant and say, Sergeant, stand down. And then I'm gonna cast command.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Nice.
Wisdom 14.
She saves.
Gosh dang it.
Well,
That was a good one, though.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was a good idea. Brandel, you're up next. Wait, sorry. Geth, do you have any bonus actions? I can't remember.
no. Just put myself in between.
We have been commanded by the internet to save the goblin.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Sunny,
I mean, we're gonna try.
we will do our darndest to save the goblin.
We
Sorry,
can
Geth,
certainly
did you have a
that.
bonus action? Geth, did you have a bonus action?
No,
All right, Brandel, you're up.
Okay, well, if Quentin is choosing to stay there, I'm gonna back up.
You go back up. Okay, how
Yeah,
far?
I'm gonna back the fuck up so I don't get hit.
Mm-hmm.
I'll back up to where like Brandon is.
Okay.
You said the big mall thing is not moving, right?
Correct.
I don't know if we're gonna blast this girl yet.
You can hold your action.
Yeah, I'll hold my an Eldritch Blast, I guess, if she hits Quentin.
Okay. Okay, Sarlo, you're up.
I am going to minor and is
Oh, what did you do?
You have turned into a robot and I'm
Sti-
missing words. So I heard minor illusion.
is the goblin still next to the body?
Yes.
Okay. Those things are now
Nope, more robot.
covered
Super robot.
by
Cannot understand you at all. You
Um,
shoot me a text message?
Oh, that's better.
Oh, that's better.
Is that better? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did. I'm gonna try not to move.
I can't hear him
Um,
at all again. That's real weird.
Oh,
Super.
really?
Whoop.
Whoa.
Whoopie dog.
Both of those things are now covered by a fairly comedic-looking box.
I'm lighting up like he's talking, but I can't hear him.
Hang on. The two things that are covered by you said a comedic looking box?
Yeah, minor illusion.
Yeah, It's my illusion. I just make a box. It just looks like a silly, vaguely
Like a
cartoon
5
crate.
feet box.
Sure. What's it around Gorko and the body?
The goblin
So it's
and
around
the body. Yeah,
and the body. So and there are 2 boxes, just to
it's a 5 foot by 5 foot square. It is
Got it.
crate-like.
Oh, it's just like one big box.
Oh, it's
Oh.
one big box. Okay.
Mm, Try
Box.
this.
Box around. Gorko.
See if that
and body. Okay. Cool. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. That's
Great.
an action, and I don't want to get closer, so we'll do that.
That's fair. Tish swings at Quentin.
At
Okay.
disadvantage.
Yeah, I took the dodge action in
Yes.
case she did that,
Totally
which does
fine.
a thing.
Let me find her sheet though, please.
Ah,
There it is. She's gonna Oh, there it is. I am so sorry. She doesn't have a sword, she has a mace. She's gonna swing at you with a mace. Rolling with disadvantage. Does a 12 hit?
no, it does not.
It swooshes past you.
Say I like parry it to the side.
Sure.
Does trigger an Eldritch Blast from Randall, though.
Yes, I do remember that. Thank you.
Alright.
So you're go ahead and release Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, that is a 19.
Yo,
That hits. I'm pretty sure that hits.
Yes.
Yes, that hits.
yes, you say.
Well,
I mean, I
hang on,
assume.
hang on. Yes, that hits.
Okay. So
Damage?
that is a D10. That's a 4.
Right. She rocks back as the Eldritch Blast hits her. How many points do you have? This many. Okay.
Don't tell me she's dead.
No, she's still standing.
Okay.
I just have to do math
still
in my head,
standing,
which I'm really bad
Now I want to watch that movie. Thank you.
at. Drews, you're up next.
Oh, I was not emotionally prepared for this. Okay. I will use my 30 feet of movement to.
Kill the guard.
So, how much has Quentin or anyone else said about her mental state?
So
I
Quentin
said that she's a slave. I mean,
Quentin hasn't said nobody's said really much anything about what's going on with her.
Yeah. I don't think Quentin would have figured too much. Like she's unfocused, but like there's not really much for me to say about that, so I haven't really said much.
Well, I'm kind of far away, so I'm going to use all 30 feet of my movement to put me kind of squarely between Quentin and Geth.
You can get about here or here.
Yeah, I think
Sure.
the lower one is probably where I want to be.
Got it.
That
We'll put you there.
doesn't help me tremendously. I did see her attack Quentin, though.
Yes. Sluggishly, but yes. Can whoever is eating chips mute while they're eating chips? Please. Is that the end of your action, Druge?
I think if she is attacking Quentin, I'm gonna chuck a hand axe at her.
Just do it.
It's a 16 to hit.
That hits.
It's 10 points of damage.
So that embeds into her shoulder,
Ooh.
we'll say. And she's not really acknowledging any damage other than it like rocking her back a little bit.
oh boy.
And then she keeps moving. Okay, so we are getting close to
Great.
the end of our evening. We've been through one entire round of combat. So I think I'm gonna call it there for the evening, and we'll pick back up here next week. Does that sound okay to everybody?
It's good to me.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
So we will drop into our usual end of game nonsense. Welcome to this random. What did y'all learn today?
Don't touch the dead body.
We're friends with the dragon.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Loxodon
Warding
doesn't want
around
me
the
to do my
city
job.
against dragons.
Yeah, that was
Oh, yeah,
interesting.
we did learn that.
Well, what?
That there's a protection.
There's
against
warding
dragons?
around the city.
Yep. What did you say, Sarlo?
The Loxodon doesn't want me to do my job.
The
Oh, boy.
Loxodon doesn't want you to do your job.
Not incorrect.
Oh, the altar thing.
Right.
I look at old stuff. I know what
Yep.
I do.
There's a giant green dragon out there somewhere hunting other dragons.
Ooh, good point.
Yep, that's a good one.
Do we know that the sergeant is the armored human that the brass dragon talked about?
Somebody
I mean, I
does.
would assume so.
I think you can safely assume that because you're all fairly. I don't know. Roll an intelligence check.
Everyone.
I don't have a lot of intelligence.
Natural one. I'm just kidding.
19. What are we rolling for?
Brandon knows that this is the has guessed correctly that this is the armored human that the dragon saw. Geth, I want to remind you that when you laid eyes on her, you recognize that she's the sergeant that came down here that the captain told you about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, she has the armor.
So
Regalia.
we can see all of that. All right.
Yeah, she's wearing City Watch armor. Like all of you can see that.
Okay.
Also, apparently, none of us speak Draconic.
That is true.
Hey, how long's
Actually,
the
I
fit?
think we have a fairly limited range on languages, is what we're learning.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I'm realizing that as well, and I need to like do some reading to see how to deal with you guys being dorks about that.
I mean, I have Elvish and Giant. I can
Speak
speak to
halfling.
beasts, though. I can speak to like animals.
Okay,
I can
so
speak Loxodon. That's fine.
that's not useful.
Sure. That is gonna be helpful, I'm sure.
All right,
I can
RP
speak
Yeah.
point. So, the role playing point, the way this works, random is, I want to do this check at the end of the game to get you guys to think about how you're playing together, and to acknowledge like some of the fun things you've done. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a nice thing. I think one of our RP points was like I don't even remember, but it wasn't particularly positive. Does anybody remember what it was?
In this game or other games?
I thought it was this game.
Referencing.
It doesn't matter. Anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, there's Wokies.
yeah, Smokey was the worst. Okay, so RP points, nominations. Go ahead.
Brandon healing the dragon while playing the.
Yeah, that was really good.
Quentin wanting to doff a hat he doesn't have.
I did not.
Hang on.
I did not.
Hang on. Brandon, healing the dragon or calming the dragon?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
I
He did
think
heal it.
healing
You're
the
right.
dragon.
Yeah.
All at the same.
That was really cool.
He did both.
Yeah. If I had to
And
pick one,
then-
I'd say calming the dragon, but yeah, healing.
Quentin for.
No, don't write that one down.
Okay. Other
bloody
role playing
well done, my
points.
Spell slots.
Okay, it's going into the stat sheet.
You're the worst. Man.
I don't know.
Drew's lifting Sorlo with his trunk. As
Yeah.
Sorlo was gonna go around towards the altar.
Yep. Just
Perfect.
like clotheslining him with his trunk.
Altars are never a good time.
Yeah, you don't like those. Any
Super
other
art.
nominations?
Having a hard time remembering. Didn't write a lot down.
Marthala giving Gorko to Brandon. He was
Yeah,
really-
the baby thing was pretty good.
I'll
Oh,
write
that
that
was-
down as long as we all agree that that is absolutely something she would do.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
With
And I'm even
with,
okay voting for that, even
with-
though she's not here, because
with
she would do
Stash like signing off on it as well.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay giving her credit for that because she's established her character and their interactions with Gorko so well that even when she's not here, we know what she would do.
Yeah, she's pretty easy to play. She's got a very strong grasp of her character. I am just looking. What was I looking for? I was looking at my sheet for. Nope, don't remember. Cool. Okay, so we've got 3. Go ahead and vote. I typed them all into the D&D Azinlia session chat.
What's that name, by the way?
Random.
Do I have to go there to do it?
You have to go there
Yeah.
and then add a reaction of some kind. Is that an elephant?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Happy. Happy, 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 happy. So I see 4 votes. Looking for 6.
Oh, how do we? Oh, there we
5.
go. Yeah.
1 more. 4, 5. Okay, I got 6. Okay, so Brandon, healing and calming the dragon is a clear winner.
Hooray!
Yay!
Yeah.
So you get the RP point there.
I'll even use mine.
Yeah, I would like to point out that nobody used their RP points again.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to use mine.
Druge and Geth
I'm-
both had them this last time.
I'm sorry, I
fairly
rolled too
certain.
well. I didn't need inspiration.
I'm fairly certain that my bardic inspiration has not been used once, and I burned through it twice.
Now, I've used my bardic inspiration.
Yeah.
That's right.
I haven't rolled
Wow.
since you gave it to me.
It's okay, I have a spreadsheet for this.
I think you guys are gonna get to, like, I think you guys will end up using it more as you go on.
The
Right.
problem is we're all still level 1. Like, once we hit, like, 3 and everyone has their class features come online, then it gets more use.
Right.
I get Jack of Trades next.
Oh my god, you're gonna be
Yeah.
insufferable, aren't
I
you?
get.
Yeah, and then
Dude.
expertise after that.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I get 2 spell slots. That's like twice as many as I have. That's like
200%.
twice as many as I have right now.
200%
Literally
the
twice as
magic.
many
All right.
spells.
Did you guys have any questions for me before we sign off from our stream?
I don't believe so.
No, I think we're fine.
All right. Well, internet, join us next time to see if we save the goblin. I mean, solve the puzzle
Hey.
of this room.
Oh no.
All right. I will see you all later. I'm gonna mute the mics. Have a good night, stream.
Yeah.